You know what I hate about this freaking museum? This
What?
vending machine costs $100 for water.
I bet this guy couldn't buy it. Hey,
Right.
wait, he's sleeping.
Can't sleep
Sir,
here.
you need to wake up, sir.
Hey, don't worry about it. Oh, don't worry about it. He's with me.
Oh, I'm still mad. This is $100.
Oh, I wonder what this picture is. I don't think I've ever seen it here.
Yeah, I live here and I don't think I've seen it.
Huh. Do you know anything about it?
No?
Where are we?
I don't know. It's like we traveled through space and time or something.
And I now know a ton of stuff that I guess has to do with the Great Depression.
So that new display at the museum was about the causes of the Great Depression or something, right?
Yeah, I think so, and I guess that's what I learned.
Like what exactly do you know?
Well, I mean, I now know that not an immediate reason for the Great Depression. The dry season that happened in the Mississippi Valley in 1930 was of such extent that numerous people couldn't pay their expenses or debts and actually needed to offer their homesteads for no benefits to themselves. The region where these droughts occurred was nicknamed the Dust Bowl due to the numerous dust storms.
Yeah, you know, this stuff's coming to me now too. As businesses started coming up short, the government made the Smoot-Hawley tariff in 1930 to ensure protection to American companies. This charged a high tax for imports from remote nations. The unintended outcome of this tax was that less exchange happened in the middle of America and outside nations. Likewise, a few nations struck back financially against the U.S.
I just learned something else. Throughout the 1930s, more than 9,000 banks closed. Bank stores were uninsured, and in this manner, the banks failed individuals who just lost their reserve funds. Surviving banks, uncertain of the financial circumstances and worried for their own survival, quit being as eager to make new advances. This worsened the circumstances, promoting less and less loans.
Numerous accept that the stock exchange crash that happened on Black Tuesday, October 29th, 1929, is one and the same with the Great Depression. It was one of the real causes that prompted it. 2 months after the first crash in October, stockholders had lost more than $40 billion. Despite the fact that money markets started to recapture some of the misfortunes, before the end of 1930 it was simply insufficient, and America genuinely entered what is known as the Great Depression.
What are you doing here, you sneaky nos? It's past closing time.
Well, we were just looking at a picture about the Great Depression, and then we just, slam cow! We were in, a different dimension.
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
We learned all this stuff about the Great Depression and all this crap. God, it's like these pictures are magic or something.
Yeah, and it looks like these people are having a pretty tough time.
Yeah, apparently many couples delayed marriage and the divorce rate dropped sharply as it just was too expensive to pay for legal fees and to support two households.
Traditional roles within the family also changed during the 1930s. Men finding themselves out of work now had to rely on their wives and children in some cases to help have enough money.
I mean, extra money basically ceased to exist in this time period, and as a result, many people were fired because companies were also suffering and couldn't afford to keep as many employees. This only made the matter worse.
Many people became homeless because they lost their job and couldn't pay their rent. The homeless then did anything to keep a roof over their head, including making shacks out of anything.
Yeah, the worst part of the Great Depression may have been the lack of trust that the people had, even in their own government, leading to worse problems. Oh, where the heck am I? Where's 7? Oh, what the? Is that? 7?
Oh my gosh, look, it's 7.
Dollar, 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 dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can a damn soul stop it?
Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on your bets, here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne. Success in my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need you, Poppy. I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne, it's called brand new money. Making major moves, man, ain't a damn thing funny. Pimpin' hood rats, the Playboy bunnies. They see the...
Oh man, I've read.
Hello,
But
Joe.
7? I thought you were home.
Joe, you've been away for 40 years. So much has changed.
40 years?
Yes, Joe.
It's unbelievable. Oh, that was weird. 7, I just had a dream about you being really famous and rich.
That's weird.
Hey, look at that. He's a sneaky nuts again. Let's get him.
Where'd you go to this time?
Wait, we can explain.
Yeah, there's like, it's weird. It's like we just look at a picture and then Slam Cop, we're there.
Yeah, we can. If you want to arrest us, we can take you with us to the past.
What do you think?
So, didn't anybody try to fix the problem at the time?
Well, the presidents of the time tried to fix the problem the United States was facing, but they had much different approaches. President Hoover's response was to restore confidence in the economy and the banking system. His main idea was not to give money directly to the citizens, but to let it trickle down to them.
So, as the situation in the U.S. continued to deteriorate in 1931 and 32, the U.S. Congress passed the Emergency Relief and Reconstruction Act. Hoover disagreed with the philosophy behind this bill and used his powers as president to slow this implementation.
He pushed a different bill with a slightly different orientation. He created the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, which minimized the amount of direct relief offered by the government and again, offered loans to help businesses avoid going bankrupt.
Hoover's plan was too little and too late. He lost favor with the American people, especially after he ordered General Douglas MacArthur to forcibly break up a bonus army, which was camped along the banks of the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. The bonus army was a group of 20,000 World War I veterans who went to Washington in an attempt to get money from Congress. Money they had been promised, but which was not to be paid until the early 1940s.
What are you guys doing on the street?
Well, you see, the Great Depression didn't only affect the U.S., it also affected many countries. In fact, once in London, people lied down in the road of a mass intersection in protest of the deficit of jobs.
Oh, really? That seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it was pretty dangerous, really. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think they should have done that.
What idiots would just lie down in the middle of the road, right?
Sorry
I'm
to
only
stop.
going 87.
As a result of his policies, Hoover was soundly defeated in the presidential election of 1932 by Franklin Roosevelt. Republicans also lost control of the U.S. Congress, and the Democrats enjoyed near total control over the executive and legislative branches of the government for the first time in many years.
Roosevelt's mandate for change was so sweeping that he immediately went to work to restore confidence in the U.S. economic system. Roosevelt made social welfare a federal government priority, established new roles for the federal government, and in the process, reoriented the national partisan politics.
He also took the U.S. off the gold standard. Later, Roosevelt, in the Second New Deal, there was a greater focus on social justice and reform. The third phase of the New Deal was concerned with the situation facing the working classes in the U.S.
Where are we?
I don't know, it looks like somewhere in Japan. You know, speaking of Japan, World War II was actually what got many countries out of the hole. It provided a surplus of jobs and opportunities for almost everyone.
Didn't we nuke Japan or something?
Yeah, but I don't think we're anywhere near... was to restore confidence in the economy and the banking system. His main idea was not to give money directly to the citizens, but to let it trickle down to them. That's not the... That's not...
Hello, Hitler. Would you want something to drink?
I either want the juice or the tea. I cannot decide. It's so hard being Hitler.
Man, he wants the juice or the tea.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind